just contributing what I normally do. But on a serious note, some of the Middlesticks members, I mean, they probably don't remember, but we had back-to-back games where we just play as a 5-stack, and I go up against like a master tier mid laner, but the dude's playing Rakan mid. So like, this is a man after my own heart. And like, we slapped them, and I felt bad for him because it wasn't really his fault. His team just got like shit stomped everywhere else. Also, the second game, like, I did not realize I was against him again, and I just for some reason had the desire to play Malzahar, which like never actually happens.
Yeah,
So,
the desire to play Malzahar. That's an ook for me.
I think it was a combination of I wanted to pair with a Pantheon.
Oh.
So like he was playing Rakan against Malzahar and kind of got game played.
As you do.
Yeah, kind of felt bad about that, but he's been on the friend list ever since, and I always check in, see where he's at. It looks like he's dropped from Masters down to D3 in the past like week. Rough week for him.
Vibon actually is playing on a 30 Hz TV. Did you see a picture of his setup?
Yes.
He also has the best Ornn emotes. I don't know. I can't even find that picture of the setup.
It's in plot chat. I've got it right here.
I must have scrolled up further. I must have missed it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah. Is that like a rug or a dog? I'm assuming it's a rug. Or something.
This gotta be like a towel.
Well, the white thing's the towel. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the thing that it's sitting on? That's gotta be like a super fluffy like comforter.
He's just got like a bunch of socks on it.
Yeah, like if I'm assuming he's like on vacation or he just moved. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think he's home with his parents. I don't want to quote anything. He'll probably watch it and be like, "What are they talking about me for?" But although I don't know why you just watch the stream starting soon. We can probably just talk about him and he wouldn't know.
Yeah, he'd probably skip to the game.
Glacial.
Our opponents appear to be missing just a little bit.
Yeah, I just had to tag one of their players for Discord. So.
Oh.
I mean, they've got 6 people in their Discord call, so, you know, however that works out.
How does that work? Like,
it's a coach, I'm assuming.
Oh.
My God. Okay. Who is?
Like all of these people?
No, I mean, I think Lacu, he's in their Discord call.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the other one is.
Wait, I don't know who X-Craze is? I was typing out, like, he's like literally the mid laner you're facing. But,
no need to be toxic as the casters. Alright. Our first official game update is that Glacial Rising has side selection, and they chose blue side for game number 1. I think Black Salt didn't put a password on the lobby, so we just keep having people join randomly and get kicked.
the lobby is broken.
The lobby. Oh, and then Black Salt left. Alright, well, we're gonna get into a new lobby, and we're gonna start 10 minutes late because we always do, you know? Why bother scheduling for a time?
I mean, why bother trying to force someone to schedule 3 weeks in advance?
Ooh, that's topical. What do you think of High Noon, Senna, and Irelia?
Honestly, I wasn't a big fan of either of them. Like, I thought I was, seeing them when they were, like, pre-release, but we got to play against them both in that same game, and I really actually just didn't like them. The Senna ult didn't feel like it matched the skin at all.
The one time she yelled yeehaw when she ulted just cracked me up. Senna just rearing back, gun blazing, yeehaw! Fires the gun. Oh man, that's a little much for me.
Yeah, and then like the Aurelia one, I didn't pay too much attention to because you just kind of clapped her, so she wasn't really threatening in any way. But I don't know, I didn't feel like she was anything either. Wait, so their coach is in here. I guess.
All right, they've got their
one
yeah.
player and their coach.
All right, they've got a coach and a mid laner. That's all they need, probably. You inviting your homies. That's... What does that mean? I can't parse that one. Can you translate, please?
I can't.
There we go. Okay, they're all in here. They're probably gonna have to swap orders, but we finally have 10 players, a coach, and 2 casters, and a 14-person lobby. If you're counting on your fingers, that's 13 people that need to fit in here, and for some reason we can't quite handle that. Alright, they're in LCS order, we're in LCS order, that's pretty cool. We're almost out of this Champion Select music. We'll have to go to a different one for the actual Champion Select.
Incoming pro draft question mark.
Just right then, yeah.
I like how they get into order and then there's just no communication now.
Yeah.
They're just. Are we ready? We're not. Let's go. Oh, I thought something was happening. Jesse probably just like
yeah, I don't. It is kind of weird that both teams get an order and then it's no communication from either side. It's just a stalemate. We're going to talk this over for a minute.
watch the opponents
Oh.
are like.
Well, that's probably why RotM wasn't doing anything. Okay.
Oh, he actually did leg out.
Oh no. Oh no. I guess I'll grab a pro draft link. I don't know that I have a good way to watch this.
I was memeing about the pro draft, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like it's true.
I would like to apologize in advance for RotM, or to RotM, for jinxing you. this is the part where we just casually decline the pro draft and say it not useful.
I mean, them taking this long has given me enough time to actually set it up as a browser source so that you don't have to look at my browser. Alright, well, I have it set up if we need it.
I think
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah,
do it.
okay, there's bans. Okay, well,
Mad
we'll
Lad.
follow along on Pro Draft even though it's much harder to actually follow along.
So they
All right.
Callista from the Million Mastery Point Callista player.
Yeah. So anyway, officially welcome. This is week 5 of GetRect Summer Splash. Our game today featuring the undefeated Return of the Middlesticks Platinum team taking on Glacial Rising Eagles, who come in at 1-3, looking to really punch up and make some noise in the standings. Pro Draft always sucks because you don't have the player names as a caster, and I kind of rely on that for reads, but I know that there's a big Silas player. I don't know what his name is for Glacial Rising, so like these things make sense. Scuba Tree? Okay, the mid laner.
Sure.
We'll try to translate as best we can, but Callista Leona taken away. Leona's a really weird ban. I don't know that Black Salt really plays that, but Ornn definitely makes sense. Ornn would be a really contested pick, though. I'm kind of surprised they're not looking to put priority on it, seeing as their top laner also plays a lot of Ornn.
I'm not sure like the champion pools are like if there's like a counter pick he has ready for against the Ornn.
Yeah, so now first pick for Glacial Rising, we'll see what they want to put a lot of priority onto. I am kind of curious if this music's a little too loud. But they're going to pick the Jarvan for their jungler who only plays Jarvan and Olaf. So I believe he's... I'll even look at this. Duddy Brains is his name. But he's played 5 games of Jarvan so far in the 3 weeks that we have accurate data for. So a lot of Jarvan picks. But that opens up the Shen. You take the Ornn, and Vibon takes the Shen.
I don't have any stats in front of me, but I feel like that's probably his, second most played champion in GetRect this split?
Yeah, he basically, it's Ornn. If you take that away, then it's Shen. If you take that away, then it's Gnar or Mordekaiser, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ashe is something that Karasut has played pretty much every game when it's available. So it feels like a lot of power picks for Return of the Middlesticks so far. And pretty much exactly what you'd expect given the circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then Glacial Rising, gonna look at bot lane. Sivir locked in. I'm really curious about that. You have every 80 carry open to you. Mini Burner plays a lot of Jinx, like a lot of Jinx. And then second most played is Misfortune, and you skip both of those and go to Sivir.
If you look at the last 2-3 days, they've been playing actually mainly Sivir. So maybe not the most surprising.
And then Soraka, not a surprising champion for Wolfie X. Technically,
I feel like I recognize that name. Where are they from?
I vaguely recognize it too, but I have no idea.
Are they in a Gnar league? Huh. Not all locked in for Black Salt. Also not a shocker.
Yeah, this is the most standard draft you could possibly imagine from Return of the Middlesticks so far. For Glacial Rising, new bot lane this week, Mini Burner and Wolfie X taking over. So we'll see how they look in their debut. For now, they get the Sivir Soraka, which they had their pick into Ashe, basically. Didn't know the support, and that's what they chose more or less blind. So you would think that that's something that they've practiced, that they're very strong on.
You know why that's really familiar? That's because that's the support for um Stars United, like
Oh.
esports club. Like literally the team we just played.
Oh. Okay. Well, neat. Darius and Ari taken away. Ari's in, I guess, the second. Scuba Tree plays like 4 mid champions kind of a lot. And they're going to take Graves and Kane away from Ikado. This Echo's available, right? And we saw
Yes.
X-Christ style on Echo last week. I think you go Echo, and you can flex that to jungle or mid. That would make the most sense if they're going very standard. They might have something new up their sleeves, but...
Yep, there's the Echo. I mean, it pairs so well with their team too. You've got the Ashe Nihilus for pick. You've got the Shen to help let them dive even harder. Like, and like you have the flexibility still because it's strong on like both of the players that still need a champion are strong on it.
Yeah, so now we're looking at solo laners for Glacial Rising. They don't really have a shared pool. Yeah, I don't think any of these things would really flip over, but it's going to be the Gangplank blind, or not blind, the Gangplank into Shen for Faulted, and then last pick's going to go to Scuba Tree. What would you want to see into this comp? Something really safe, probably?
I mean, I feel like you pretty much have to. Syndra is a pretty generic pick. Pretty strong pick, but that makes me scream Echo mid now. But that's just me as the Echo player.
Yeah, that was actually the matchup I believe he played last week as well, was the Echo into Syndra. So I think this will be X-Craze's Echo. And then we'll see if Ikado wants something different in the jungle, or if he does want to keep the Echo, but...
I think pull out the Kindred here. Deny a lot of... Yep.
Alright, we're nutty.
It's like we know these guys well, and they don't pull it out any crazy shit most of the time.
Alright, we're going to flip it over to client in a second, but there's our draft. Basically, you got exactly what you wanted is Return to the Middle Sticks. No one in particular got pinched. Yeah, you have to take away the Callista, you kind of have to take away the Ornn. The Leona's kind of a weird ban, but you're not pinching anybody, nobody's really threatened. I don't know, it feels just like a really solid, strong draft. Okay, there's some readies in the chat.
I don't even see any, like, recent Leona for Black Salt either.
It must just be a champion they don't like playing against, and if they were planning on a Sivir Soraka bottom lane, I could see how the Leona would be, something you wouldn't want to deal with. Alright, so now we go away from the hastily made graphics into the one that I actually prepared for Champion Select. So everybody marvel at the new background that I made yesterday, whenever yesterday was. But yeah, now we're gonna watch that same draft again, but this time we have nameplates on, so that's pretty cool. Do you still have the draft up? Do you want to talk about any of it?
Yep, I've got it pulled up.
Okay.
Go for it.
So what I was going to say, Glacial Rising, I think you have a very easy to see what they want to do. You speed everybody up, you can throw the Gangplank ult in and really change the speeds of your team relative to the other team and find engages that way. You don't have that like super true engage. Jarvan can go pretty hard, but it's hard to lock. It's usually hard to lock people down. In this case, you can actually sit Ashe inside the Jarvan ult. But it's relying a lot on looking for that 5v5 team fight. It's a lot of just team fighting ability. What would you say the Return of the Middle Sticks has?
I mean, you've got, I kind of briefly touched on it earlier, when we were still kind of like hypothesizing like the final few picks, but you've got the pick potential from the bottom lane that provides like the late game damage insurance. You have Kindred scaling, but you also have got the global. You always have to like, I mean, I guess Gangplank's got a global as well, but the shield is always like a play turner, and you can stall with the Kindred ult. So you're gonna have like scrappy zone control if anything, with like the parallel convergence, with the it is Echoes W's parallel convergence, right? I'm drawing a
Yeah.
blank right now.
No, you're good.
Okay, yeah. You've got obviously Lamb's Respite. You've got
And if it's not, you sounded confident enough that I would have said yeah anyway.
I was like, I'm pretty sure. I feel like bad because it's like that's one of like the main champions that I don't want to say I'm known for, but that I would appear confident on. And then I don't even remember my W is. But you've got a bunch of circles actually, a bunch of circles. You've got the Riptide, the Kindred ult, the Echo W, the Shed W. Is there a 80 carry with the circle? Not counting Silver Boomerang.
I don't want to have to brainstorm this, but yeah, you've got a decent amount of circles to try to engage through. Plus, you have the Shen ultimate is just kind of the big equalizer, I guess, along with the Kindred ult. It's going to be very difficult to find those picks. It feels like a lot of tools for Return to the Middle Six. I really like the draft from ROTM, not just because, wow, they got everything that they wanted, but more from a team play perspective. I don't hate Glacial Rising Eagles. I don't think that it's a bad draft. I think that these are actually two very good drafts, which is rare. But yeah, I do kind of wonder. I don't know. I guess they got everything that they. I guess Glacial Rising got what they wanted. We're assuming that they really wanted the Severe Soraka, but they used. I really liked the analogy, backtracking a little bit. They talked about it during Worlds about draft bucks, right? So if you have first pick, you're spending a lot of your draft bucks on whatever you're first picking. If you're spending all of your draft bucks on Jarvan, but your opponent doesn't play Jarvan, you kind of threw away a lot of your draft bucks, right? You're not getting that priority contested pick. If it's something like you wanted to play Ornn, you could spend your draft bucks on Ornn and not ban it, and use it, like allocate your resources somewhere else. But they chose, we're going to get the Jarvan. That's the comfort. That's the ultimate thing that we want. But then they gave up a lot in return, right?
Yeah, I was thinking more and more about how like these comps, these team fights are gonna play out. Like the more I say this, the more I'm happy with our, I guess, bias caster here, but with the RotM draft. Like as you're talking about earlier, like the only like hard CC go button besides like a Sivir R, which isn't any CC, is the Jarvan Jacuzzi. So like, sure, he's gonna dunk and keep the Ashe in the pit, but if Kindred just hovers, you got the Shen ult to just deny all of that. And then like the rest of them are slippery.
Yeah, and even if you kill the Ashe, you use a lot of abilities to take Ashe down, it's going to be very difficult to find that big front-to-back fight where Sivir's getting the ricochets everywhere, where Syndra's very effective in the fights, or you're blowing all of your Syndra abilities onto Ashe, in which case there's still Echo and Kindred. There's still two big threats left in this team fight, right? So yeah, I think it's going to come a lot down to Faulted. If Faulted can get going on this Gangplank, that's going to be the big equalizer, is having those barrels able to drop and kind of take Echo and Kindred down a peg would be huge. If he's not on point with his barrels, if the Gangplank isn't as effective, I think that the team comp's really going to struggle.
Definitely would agree with that. Like, there's just not much. Or I mean, behind Gangplank is pretty. I mean, it's free walking money for a team that's got the divers and the multiple consistent damage threats that RotM has drafted.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to take a second to do a proper intro because we kind of awkwardly lurched into casting. My name is Meristematic. Join me tonight is Wing Nation. We're two of the co-admins of Return of the Middle Sticks. Neither of us currently play, but we're happy to bring you this game live. We've been casting each of the Return of the Middle Sticks games, as well as a couple of other assorted ones this split. So as the game loads up, we thank you for joining us here on the channel. We would really love if you'd consider giving us a follow. We're trying to hit affiliate before too long, and we have some really cool plans and ideas if we can get everything rolling. So without further ado, let's load onto the Rift. The bot lane skin synergy, the Snowstorm Sivir with the Winter Wonder Soraka. I appreciate Mini Burner and Wolfie X. All right, make sure you speed up, Mr.
Absolutely.
Nation.
Yep.
and then we'll spawn onto the rift for game number 1. On the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for this game, will be Glacial Rising Eagles. We've covered the draft in detail. We don't need to introduce them. On the red side of the rift, wearing the red health bars, is going to be Return of the Middlesticks. And ROTM going to fan out in a 5-point, and we'll see... Oh, the big counter invade from Glacial Rising. I don't remember... Oh, it was their game against Hidden Weeb Village that we were casting, where Hidden Weeb Village fell directly into this trap and lost 3 kills at level 1. Not going to happen this game, unfortunately, for Glacial Rising, but I was remembering where we saw this stack before.
It was like after struggling to try to remember Wolfie, I was sitting there like, I've seen this and I just couldn't put my finger on it. But that was, you cast that one with Lane, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was in there watching, so.
Scuba Tree doesn't have any items, is maybe something we should touch on very briefly.
Ooh, yeah. Also opting into the exhaust for Summoner spell, which, I mean, against Echo, I don't know. Because, like, you'll deny some damage off of one, like, passive proc rotation, but he's just gonna do it again, like, 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I can see it as a choice you would make, especially with the Kindred and Ash as well. It's really good to exhaust those targets, but oh, the hook at level 1, Black Salt getting aggressive, gets the Aftershock proc. Wolfie's actually burning down, the heal and the flash forced out. Black Salt just walks into lane and throws the dredge line at him.
That hurts me thinking of our own games, but that's one way to try to take control of a lane. Especially against like a Soraka, you just chunk her health pool so she actually doesn't do anything early.
Yeah, she's chugging through those biscuits. Actually has used all 3 of them now. So if you get that re-engage as Black Salt and Karasuda, you're in a good spot. X-Craze for his trouble is going to take an Electrocute proc. And the no item Cinder is actually, doing okay so far. We'll see if it continues.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that's just because Syndra herself as a champion is incredibly oppressive early, even without the items. She's got such a short cooldown on her Q and really low mana cost.
Oh, Jarvan's headed top. He went red-blue Gromp top lane. Taunt from Vibon, just going to try to get him out to safety, and nothing burned. That was actually really a successful escape of that gank. And I want to highlight just very quickly, I'm not going to get to because Echo's roaming up there and has found Jarvan. Okay. I think we're going to chill for a second. Gangplank used the triple barrel on the wave to try to hit Vibon, but it also shoved his wave at the same time, and that made it a really bad angle for Jarvan to gank from. I think if he chills and doesn't triple barrel, saves it for the gank, he can do a lot better with that engagement. Just a small thing.
There's the no items right there. Syndra doesn't have any pots to sustain through these trades.
Oh, the Ignite I don't think is going to be enough. But gets both of the summoners out of Scuba Tree. Vibon's just trying to farm right now. This is actually a rough matchup for Shen, really. Eventually you get tanky and you don't care, but for right now you just take a gun to the face every couple of seconds. Duddy Brains hits the EQ, walks in. X-Cray's going to get the speed boost off of the passive and be able to walk out.
God, that's just what I love playing about Echo. You just kind of get that passive, just like want to let you stick your tongue out, like just run off. High quality analysis, I know. But...
No, it's good. Like the movement speed really does help you, especially when you're getting ganked or in lanes where you need to dodge maybe orbs for instance. Aikedo's going to look for his first gank. He gets spotted on the ward in the Tri-Bush, and Wolfie X and Mini Burner should be out of here. Yeah, Hook not quite going to land. Black Salt looking to target Wolfie X because he doesn't have that summoner flash right now.
Yeah, plus they're like the spell shield was still being held onto by the Sivir, so that would have. Well, how does the spell shield work with Nautilus? Does it still drag him halfway in?
Yeah, it drags him halfway in, which isn't quite to melee range. It's a really weird interaction, but yeah, you're seeing the early Gangplank into Shen. You put a barrel down, and if you get the barrel to 1 hit point uncontested, you can just sit it in the minion wave, and Shen just can't walk up and farm. You're just kind of stuck in this particular mode that Vibon is stuck in. He's doing really well for himself. He's only down 6 CS, which is actually pretty impressive as shoved in as he's been.
Really early oracles there for the Echo.
Oh yeah, he did get that. I was trying to think about what Oracles is. It's the sweeper. Sorry. Oh, Karasuda having trouble. We saw this last week. I don't think that he like permanently disconnects. He just has a little bit of trouble. X-Grays might be in trouble though. His Scuba Tree hits the Scatter of the Week, the EQ from Jarvan, not quite going to land. X-Grays trying to chase him down. The auto not enough. Aikido flashes forward. He'll get the trade and now be able to chase down Duddy Brains. There's no buffs on either of them, so it's just the straight auto attacks from Aikido, just going to force Duddy Brains back. But it's the 1-for-1 in mid lane. But importantly, that's the first blood going to Jarvan, and then the return answer for Aikido.
So that kind of right there, that particular fight of the scrap kind of was, I never got to finish just because of all the stuff happening early. But where I was talking about, Syndra's just kind of an oppressive champion early with like her low mana costs, and there's a couple of like, I guess we'll just say like higher skilled or like challenger mid laners that I watch all the time, and they all basically are in agreement that her Q is basically undodgeable until you get boots, and so like X-Craze has boots now, so he could kind of sidestep some Qs, but until you hit that point, like it's up to the Syndra to miss the Q because it's pretty free.
Yep, now that he has those boots though, maybe a little bit of equalization. He has the ultimate as well, so you can... we saw that interaction. Never mind, we're going to get a hook in the bottom lane. Barrier forced out, as well as the Cannon Barrage actually invested from Gangplank. They're trying to chase down Black Salt, but they're not going to fully commit to that because X-Craze and Aikido are in route on that bottom side. Now Duddy Brains and Scuba Tree come in, clean out a Pink Ward. We might see that mid-jungle 2v2. X-Craze jumps in. He wants that trade onto Duddy Brains. Gets some damage down. Aikido really wants this because that's his mark, is Duddy Brains. Gets exhausted when he tries to dance Averos forward, and it'll be the disengage. Meanwhile, the top side, that shouldn't actually result in anything. But... oh, now another hook in bottom side. They're going to land it onto Mini Birder. Karasuda just able to get through that damage with the Ranger's focus. Wolfie X just kind of has to watch his AD carry die. Really good at re-engage by Black Salt.
Nicely done there, just real simple execution. Did your job as Nautilus, land the hook, and someone dies. And it's also early enough that we don't see a fat 500 health heal from Soraka.
Oh man, Ashelt's coming in. This could be the hit from Karasuda. The cross map, oh, it doesn't quite connect, but they're still going to dive into it. X-Craze has the ultimate out as they're able to take down Jarvan. The Lamb's Respite gets Aikido out as well. Vibon re-engages, but they're not able to kill Faulted. But Scuba Tree is here. He's already burned most of his abilities onto X-Craze. But the collapse will just even that trade 1-for-1. But it was the mark for Aikido as they're able to take down Duddy Brains underneath the tower.
I guess we know Aikido's still saying worth. Although, I almost feel like that was just a bit unfortunate with the Lamb's Respite there. Is that actually prevented, or like basically baited Vibon in to try to secure the kill on Gangplank and then trading his life instead?
Yeah, if they had used... Importantly, X-Craze was the one that had the tower aggro initially when he jumped in. If he could have, used his ult to drop the aggro and then had the Lamb's Respite after that, I think that you get that longer engagement under the tower, but instead it baits Vibon just a little bit into taking some tower shots. And now he loses. I really liked what he was doing. He was contesting a lot of the barrels before that shove, got it in, but now he's behind 30 CS and in kind of a rough spot. Trying to get that chase down. This is a really weird chroma. This is the Pulse Fire chroma on Shen?
Yep.
I don't know that I like it. It's a little weird.
It's dark. It's dark.
Yeah. Well, that and like his little like headlamp thing kind of weirds me out. I don't know. Maybe it's like a headband. I'm not sure. Duddy Brains is trying to solo Dragon right now, but he's gonna get spotted out. I don't know if that was a hawk shot or what's happening, but X-Craze knows he's there. Just destroys him with that electrocute proc. So they spot him on Dragon somehow. I don't know if it was the hawk shot or this ward, but yeah, X-Craze just gets a free kill out of it.
That always was like the greatest feeling ever as Echo, just getting like early thing, because you're one of the few scaling assassins in the game just getting that extra 300 gold to accelerate your scaling, it like just feels wonderful. And like his
Oh, they
early
walk up.
item-
He already burned the spell shield. The hook comes in from Black Salt, chained into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the ultimate, and Mini Burner's going to fall. They're going to put some damage down onto Wolfie X, but they can't actually kill him right now. But just the threat of the CC chain. Black Salt flashes forward, forces the counter flash from Wolfie X. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald's gone down on top side for Aikedo. So Return of the Middlestick's really getting a lot of value out of their pressure here in bottom lane.
Yeah, I feel like Black Salt just has complete control or like dictation over this lane. Just kind of, he says like, all right, we're gonna fight, and like Sivir has to scale, Soraka kind of needs to scale. So him pushing early is probably the greatest for like thing that could happen for this bot lane.
Yeah, and I just love the presence, I guess, in lane. He and Karasuda split apart from the minion wave. They both walk up, and Miniburner just burns the spell shield without, threat, like under threat of all of those abilities, but none actually fired. This isn't quite going to be the first turret in mid lane. It's going to be a bunch of plate money in the pockets of Aikedo and X-Craze, so they do cash in on it. Maybe not as hard as they would have wanted to, but you'll get 4 plates. You'll like it.
4 plates is still 4 plates. That still feels pretty good.
And now with the Proto Belt and the Warrior Enchant finished up, as well as the Blade of the Ruin King on Ashe, a lot of these first kind of critical item spikes come through, and they're much earlier than we're seeing out of Glacial Rising. Although X-Craze might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's forced to eat a little bit of damage from Scuba Tree. Actually, one more ability and he'll be in range for the ultimate, and he doesn't have the Chrono Break available.
He's sticking around too. That's a little bit greedy. Like I know it feels bad where he is health wise, but it's still a Syndra. Kind of have to respect what she can output.
Yeah, it looks like they want to make a play around this Dragon Pit. The pings are coming down. That might be why X-Craze is sticking around. They're going to just layer some CC into Soraka. Do they actually have enough damage to take her down? They finally do, as Karasuda able to chunk through. He's 3-0. This is a really good performance by Black Salt and Karasuda so far. Chunk comes down onto Scuba Tree. X-Rays flashes back in for this stun. Protobelt actually doesn't do any damage. He's going to get the Shen ult on top of him. Scuba Tree's in trouble. Aikedo just flashes over for the auto attack. Now Duddy Brains is forced to flee as well. But Vibon and X-Rays won't quite be able to track him down. But they get the Ocean Dragon. They get a couple of kills for their trouble as a result of the play as well. There was that interaction you wanted to see, by the way.
Also, another mark there. Actually, a couple marks there for the Kindred. She's now up to 6 hunts. This is a very
Wait,
online Kindred.
6 hunts?
6 hunts. 6 hunts.
That's insane. What?
I was looking when they were doing Dragon, and like Aikedo had 4 at that moment, and then picked up 1 off the kill, and then I don't know if the Dragon was also 1, but like the next hunt switched so fast to those crooks. But either way, 6 marks right now.
Holy moly. Alright, so Aikedo is a man. Like, the 2-0-1 scoreline looks okay, but boy, 6 hunts at this point. That's incredible. Alright.
I mean, also you have to compare it to the Dragon.
Oh, no.
It's up 32 farm.
I don't think they saw that ward timeout. Oh, they get the spell shield out. They can just force this again. They land the hook onto Wolfie X. Black Salt, just calm down. They have families. But Aikedo looking in from the side, not going to find anything. This is actually a collapse 4v3. They need to be a little bit careful as Scuba Tree not quite able to find that Scatter of the Weak. Duddy Brains just walks in, takes a little chomp from Wolf. But
No mercy down there for the bot lane.
yeah, Mini Burner and Wolfie X just like came back from base and immediately, oh, they're baiting us on that bush. I kind of liked the spell shield timing from Mini Burner, trying to call him out, trying to blind guess. This fight is not going very well for Vibon. He's actually got the Bramble Vest and still taking a lot of damage from Faulted. Oh, lands the taunt. Oh, this is actually really close. I think Faulted should win, but man, that taunt really turned things around.
I'd really like to see Karasuda just get an Executioner's Calling. Like, it is a Soraka lane, and yes, you're up ahead. Just, if you're able to get 800 gold, just invest in it now. It's just really valuable against both Soraka and, like, you'll have the Gangplank later, too.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a miss on pretty much anybody. Right now, Vibon, the only one with the Grievous Wounds, lands the taunt on Defaulted, gets immediately cleansed away. He's been very quick with the the oranges on Gangplank, so it's been very difficult to lock him down up in that lane, especially with Vibon with just that single target. X-Gray's still looking for... He's been really aggressive, and it's been lining him up for some stuns. Oh,
Ooh.
well, Black Salt didn't need to flash for that one. That arrow was right on from Karasuda. They'll get the kill regardless. Nutty Brains is in trouble on the top side. Aikedo jumps forward. The red buff is on a killing spree. They'll get the bottom tower as well. Return of the Middle Sticks just breaking the game open at 15:30.
Yeah, 5K gold lead. They're trying to speed run. They're trying to continue that speed run. You know, bust out the 25 under minute wins. 7 marks on the Kindred right now, and looks like possibly a dive being set up here in the top lane.
Yeah, if he gets one more, he'll get that second set of improvements.
He's already got it. He's already got it.
Oh, is it 6 now?
No, so he's on 7 hunts right now, and it's every 3 after the first one now.
Oh.
Pretty sure.
The first one's 4, and then it's every 3?
Yeah.
Oh. I need to keep up with my Kindred lore. They get mid tower, by the way. I don't know how that happened. That probably shouldn't based on the run of play there, but they forced their way into mid.
It looks like a bot lane rotated mid because of like the chip damage from Herald earlier. It was already down. Let me see if I can figure out Kindred auto range. How do I do this on you?
X-Craze
Kindred...
finds Wolfie X, just gonna jump in onto the Soraka. Blastcone should save him for now. Just gonna ult away. No harm done. Duddy Brains and Scuba Tree were kind of looking for him in the jungle, but not gonna find the Echo. And instead it's the setup around the second Herald, and we'll see how much they can get with it. If they want to go top and free Vibon from his prison up here in top lane, that'd probably be the right move. Black Salt's gonna walk in, faulted. Well, oh, he got a lot of value out of that cleanse.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
nice Ash ult, honestly. Just unfortunately, all the CC landed at once.
Aikedo is 3 levels up on Duddy Brains now. Just finds him, jump in, mini burner, gonna burn to ignite. I don't think that he falls. The Shen ult gonna save Aikedo for the time being. He's forced to use the Lamb's Respite as well after the Syndra ult tries to chase him down. Now Karasuda gonna frontline on Ashe. There's no Syndra ult, so he's free to do that, I guess. And no more kills right now, but
Infernal Drake is spawning in a lot of low health bars and a lot of waves already shoved in. On the side of, I don't even remember, was it I know it's GRE. Is it the Eagles? Rising Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just going to be a free dragon for RotM.
Yeah, how would you even contest this at this point? Like, what?
I mean, you can't. Your Cinder's behind. Your Sivir is still a 1-item Sivir. Your Gangplank still doesn't even have the completed Triforce. So, like, you just have to, there's no reason to. It's only the second dragon. Don't even start considering until, like, the next dragon at the very earliest. And even then, like, it'd be dangerous, but you could even give the next one if you think you need the extra time.
Yeah, and the Earth Soul is going to be the point of contention. We're looking at the next dragon hitting around, what, 23 minutes? So we're looking at earliest a 28-minute Soul, which is relatively early, but not unheard of.
Missing any more marks? I don't think I have. Yeah, still the 7 marks, 600 auto range for the Kindred.
Yeah, and Faulted just trying to find, he finally has that Trinity Force, so some important item completions coming through. But right now we really need to see Mini Burner on 3 items. We need to see Wolfie X really hit that Ardent Sensor. Unfortunately, he's already messed that up and gone for the Athene's Unholy Grail, which is a fine item, but it's not Ardent Sensor.
Yeah. Like, I understand the Athene sometimes, but that's like a Sivir you're trying to buff up. If you give her, like, an Ardent Sensor, like, that Sivir pumps out a stupid amount of damage against an entire team.
Yeah, so Ardent Sensor, for anybody following along, Ardent Sensor is a 2,300 gold item. It gives 5,000 gold worth of stats for it, so just an insane item. And that's not even considering its mana passive, I believe, which gives you a little bit more. I think it's 5,000 gold worth of stats on somebody like Vladimir. Ashwell comes through.
It does land. The Syndra flash in a straight line backwards.
Okay, well, I didn't see if it landed. I didn't want to assume, but they're going to bully him off the mid tower and take that tier 2. I still want to see them free Vibon from his prison in top lane, but for now, it's going to be the 4-man squad and let Vibon have his own fun up in the top side. He's actually going to be isolated against the Sivir, which I don't think he'll know. Oh, dive in from X-Craze. They have to use the Shen ult and the Echo ult to try to get him out to safety. Parallel convergence on the tower. Just going to try to escort this minion wave in, and right now there's just no contest available for Glacial Rising. Your 80 carries up in the top lane right now. Going to scrape together some tower money maybe, but you might lose even more than that. They know that Sivir's up there now.
There's a small part of my mind that was like, you could even have Shen teleport up and deny the tower still. But I was like, no, that's just too greedy.
I mean, you could, or you could keep the teleport up and just repeat your 4-1. Mini Burner going to use the on the hunt just to make sure that he can get out to safety. He'll grab that first tower of the game for Glacial Rising and put a little bit of gold in their pocket. If you look, he's down about 2,000 gold to Karasuda currently. Which is well represented by that Runan's Hurricane that is now completed. And he heard you. He built the Executioner's Calling as well.
I mean, with his Hezzy, of course he can afford it. I mean, rather be on that side than on the losing side and trying to also spend 800 gold on the Grievous.
Yeah. That noise that we heard from Faulted means that he's online. That's a joke. He hit 500 Silver Serpents. He's got level 13. That's the big meme that Gangplank's online now because his barrels are actually like usable. He's got a lot of CS. I'm curious how he's doing in gold. Yeah, he's 1,200 ahead of Vibon, which is fine. I guess he's getting there. Duddybrains they're trying to collapse onto Black Salt. Aikedo's over the wall, just looking to put some damage down onto Wolfie X. They're going to chunk through him. Black Salt's already down. Both supports have actually been traded. Duddybrains in trouble. This little corridor is working really nicely for Kindred. He's forced to flash over the wall. Now X-Craze joins the fray as well as Vibon. They'll clean up Duddybrains. A big collapse after Vibon gets taken down, and they'll grab 3 kills for it.
For a moment there, I thought like...
oh, X-Craze once more. All right, well...
Four kills now. I was expecting like what's the name? I'm thinking of the stupid TFT version of Gargoyle Stoneplate. I was expecting like Gargoyle Nautilus just to be able to face tank it, but he opted into the Knight's Vow first, so he's a slightly squishier Nautilus, but still took that long just to blow up one support. Plenty of time for RotM to collapse, profit on a bunch of kills, and now we're seeing a Baron at the cost of a bottom tier 1.
Yeah, to Glacial Rising's credit, at least they got the bottom tier 1. Like a lot of times in this situation, you see no trade, but at least getting something. Boy, that's a meager Gangplank build right now.
Yeah, the Gangplank opted to not teleport into the fight topside. He definitely had it available.
Yeah, I don't know what he's really hoping to accomplish outside of his ult in that fight. He really needs to just power farm for another item, but don't know that he'll get the opportunity. Now the Dragons started up. That'll be number 3 in their pockets. We'll see if there's a steal, I guess, over the wall. The barrels, the E, not quite enough. That's a good smite by Aikedo. That was up at like 319 when he smited it. Or 719, excuse me. I think his smite will do about 740 right now.
Alrighty, so that's the last dragon you could afford to give over as Rising Eagles. You got 4.5 minutes before you know that you're fighting. So how can you profit as much as you can here?
Well, this is not the way to start. Is just losing a 1v1 to Vibon up in the top lane. Oh, the flash over the wall from Black Salt. They have even more CC coming in. Aikedo's unstoppable. 7-0 and God, I'm making up numbers now. 5-0 and 4 for Aikedo on the Kindred, and they're going to push in on the bottom tower as well. 15-3 in kills. They're up 10k gold. Parallel Convergence is going to force them to back off of the tower. Actually, X-Craze, took a pretty big chunk off of that. Sivir ate the Ash ult. That was unfortunate at the front of that. X-Craze looking for a little bit more, tries to dive in, takes the Syndra ult, forced to Parallel Convergence, or Chrono Break, excuse me, back out of there. And now we'll push in on the mid tower. Not breaking any speed records this game, but they should be able to close this one out relatively quickly now. 2 inhibitors down. They'll roll through the top lane next. A lot of value for this Baron buff.
I stopped counting turrets, but they've got. Actually, I wasn't counting turrets ever, but I I was like I think I was counting turrets in my head, but no, I'm not really. But yeah, they're cashing in on another tower right now. One more reset, group on top probably, and then that'll be it. Spending like Karasuda is sitting on almost 3,000 right now.
Yeah, and they got through the tough part. Cracking the inhibitor turrets against a Sivir, actually relatively difficult usually. When you just brute force your way through with Baron buff and get 2 inhibitors, that feels pretty good. Now you are funneling some gold into the Sivir. There's this weird niche chance that Sivir just hits 400 farm because all of these minions are just going to be shoving into the base constantly. I don't think Return of the Middlesticks falls into that trap. They're not an LCK or LEC team, so probably won't be falling asleep here.
Yeah, I mean, Rising Eagles, their Rising Eagles does have like besides the Sivir, Syndra and Gangplank have decent wave clear as well. They've got, if you had a stall on a team, like you could make a case with their draft, but I feel like they're just too far behind. Like we're talking 12,000 gold right now, 26
Yeah,
minutes.
they'd have to keep this even for another 20 minutes, I think would roughly be the amount. And there's just not enough left that they can give up. And there's so much available on the map for Return of the Middlesticks. X-Craze is taking quite a bit of damage from the Syndra. If he ever gets caught by Scuba Tree, that could be pretty devastating. Nautilus ult gonna heal. Flash was burned for just the movement speed. X-Craze maybe in a little bit of trouble. He has the Chrono Break. He gets put on the silence, unable to walk out of it. Shenot coming through. Duddy Brain just auto him. Okay, they finally take him down. The Soraka in trouble as well will fall, as well as Sivir, and everybody going back to the fountain. Double kill for Aikedo as a result of that. X-Craze just going to get healed up by the Summoner heal as well as the Kindred ultimate. Taunt lands onto Scuba Tree, but that'll be the Nexus falling for game number 1. 27 minutes, not the fastest game they've had this split, but one of them were commanding 19-3 in kills.
Yeah, and basically from the get-go, that like RotM had control. They had like the early aggression in the bot lane. Black Salt was dictating that lane right from the get-go. Level 1, just walking in, hitting the Soraka with the hook, and just kind of putting them in their place, I suppose. Maybe not the greatest way to say that, but that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I wanted to check very quickly. Yeah, the Syndra did by far the most damage in the game.
Yeah,
Which...
X-Rays was playing pretty aggressive. It was taking a lot of chunks there.
All right, so we'll take a short break then. We'll be back with game number 2. I'm already in the lobby. Oh, you're already here. Well, ideal.
Yep, but we got pro draft and stuff to sit through, so
Yeah.
we can hold our horses. They're gonna have to talk probably with their coach or something, guessing.
Yeah. So, what do you want to see in draft then from Glacial Rising?
Well, so
how do you fix this?
Glacial's gonna be red side here, so you get your Syndra to put out a good amount of damage. 1, hopefully this game buys items to start with. 2, gets a counter or takes counter pick into X-Craze, and I don't want to say exploits that matchup, but we saw that like the Syndra was by far like 7,000-8,000 damage more than anyone else in the game. You get them onto either another comfortable champion or a really good matchup and see if they can actually carry. Your top lane was winning, but that's more of like nature of the champions than it was like King. I guess you drafted like 2.5 scaling lanes as well, so something a little bit more early focused. This Gangplank takes forever to come online. Sivir takes forever to come online. Syndra is a champion that allegedly scales. I mean, she does, but she's online from the moment she exists. Maybe provide a second. Well, no, I just know how Wolfie plays, and like they're an e-girl player. Like even by like the clan, they're like in the Ehor clan. I would want like a second frontliner, something to go in with the Jarvan. I just don't know if you're gonna get that with how their team's going to draft.
I appreciate UNSC replacing LS in the copy pasta with Aikedo, aka Jungle Div. That's a solid pasta. Spectator. Okay, I have a link. Alright, we got Pro Draft now.
I'll be back in a sec. I gotta check on the dogs.
Okay.
I heard a weird bang upstairs. They're the only ones here in the house, so
Yike. Yeah, one singular yike. So yeah, just a small moment of a break for both teams. And then we'll get into an exciting game number 2.
alright, we are back.
Welcome.
All is good. I think my dog fell asleep with his head resting on like his food bowl and it just like fell over.
As you do. Who hasn't done that, honestly?
I would say me, but that would also be a lie.
Oh, okay. We are ready with Pro Draft for game number 2. We saw just an absolute slapping in game number 1, and let's see what, if anything, really changes in this draft. Do you need the link?
Nope, I've got the link. I was just sitting here watching. Like, there's nothing being banned yet, but by Glacial here.
Yeah, they hit the ready button.
Changing. Oh,
Okay.
They're banning the Yumi this time. That stuff's changing and not kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, they got destroyed by the bottom lane. You don't want to give them a champion that just has so much ability to take over a game. The Callista, you still pretty much have to do. Although I'm not sure if they've been practicing Callista lanes even. Like if that's even on their radar, or they're just assuming it's going to be banned. I do kind of want to see a team call that bluff and see if they'll pick it. Because I'm pretty sure he'll just default to Ashe anyway. The Darius moves up from second phase to first phase for RTM. Well, I don't remember what they dropped though. Oh, the Yumi.
The Yumi, yeah. There's like they had a free ban, so they decided to protect top a little bit more. And the Leona ban was dropped for Rising Eagles.
Alright, so the Ornn can't be first picked. So what does that leave open for RTM? Is there anything contested? I don't know. I feel like you almost just take the Echo. But if you're drafting really, to the book. The Shen makes sense as well, and that's already locked in. So, return trip to Shen for Vibon, and that'll open up, the Pandora's box of countered matchups. We saw Faulted do fine on the Gangplank, but maybe not like a hard winning lane,
Mhm.
I don't like this. So again, I want to talk about draft bucks, but like I think we're kind of under the understanding, right? Misfortune is fine, but I don't know why you need Misfortune right now. If you play Ashe, you take Ashe, right? Put him on something different. If you play Nautilus, you take Nautilus. Maybe we'll see Nautilus here. Maybe it's the MF Nautilus lane. That's not Nautilus. Alright, I don't know anymore. Analyze.
Big change up there. I mean, I guess the Rek'Sai performs the same job as Nautilus, but only on a single target. Do you get the knockup for the MF?
So again, these aren't contested picks.
Yeah,
the Shen isn't really either. I don't hugely love the Shen being there. It's hard because there's not like a whole lot of in common things. The Braum is just a great counter to MF, and one that we know is right in Black Salt's wheelhouse. They're gonna grab the Syndra, which is a flex. We've seen Karasuda play it, we've seen X-Craze play it, so that really doesn't tell us a whole lot. I like that B2 and B3 from RTM a lot.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I just definitely agree with there. Right, like literally the match before the actual like game here that we've been spectating. That was Karasuda Syndra just in a normal game for warm up.
All right, so this draft. So RTM, it feels like they want their power picks, right? We have a lot of priority on Shen, so we're going to take that first. And then the Braum and Syndra don't show you enough about what we're doing. We're hiding stuff. We're taking soft counters, right? For GRE, it feels like they're just, well, we don't want to show mid or top lane, so we're just going to pick bottom. What do you guys want to play?
So,
but the MF Zyra doesn't go super well together.
If you're rising, I mean, thinking two things here. So, like, Zyra MF, I feel like is okay. It's like the discount Ashe Zyra lane.
So then why wouldn't you pick
damage available?
The Ashe?
Do they play Ashe? Maybe, kind of. It's on the list, but it's way down there.
Yeah, the Ashe still exists in this game. We could just see Ashe, and we're basically just running back last game if we're RTM.
For me, it's more of why did they not pick a top laner in the first rotation? Because if RotM really wanted to, they could have thrown, and still could throw more a ban at it. They're not.
That blank square is Lucian, apparently, which really doesn't make any sense, but go off,
Yeah, but like if RotM had wanted to, they could have thrown both of those the second rotation bans to protect the Shen. Like if they feel like, hey, the Gangplank was too rough of a matchup, or we want him to have a little bit more control in lane, they could have eliminated or protected the first pick Shen.
Yeah, ultimately, I just think that they don't care. Like,
yeah.
Vibe on your weak side, and I think Vi is very fine with that. And I even see some of the comment in the chat, basically, yeah, Vi isn't going to fall super far behind playing super weak side. And they really use that to their advantage. So it's going to be the set into... Yeah, there's no doubt. It's the set into Shen. That's not a flex pick right now. And Kanye for Aikedo. And we're going to round this out with either an AD or a mid.
Hopefully it's better than Speaker's Kane.
Hopefully a little bit better than Speaker's Kane.
We saw him at 20 minutes. Karki, very strong pick. Just a lot of magic damage on this team, but I guess Kane can be the buffer or like the physical damage.
Yeah, and you're not going to get a tank in bottom lane. You have the set who's like kind of tanky in top. It's a safe way to get a bunch of magic damage. Like, this isn't a team that can just stack MR and ignore you. Like, there's no way they hard rotate and just pick a Maokai here and you're dead.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the pick. I think this is the less exciting way that I'd like to see. I would honestly prefer this Syndra blind mid and take something for Carson. I don't really know.
Talia into Syndra. A resident Talia player here. Definitely not one of my favorite matchups. You have to get into Syndra's operating range to get your burst combo off. Now, if the Syndra's not really like on point with her dodges, then it's free. And like I guess I could see that with as much. But well, I'm forgetting it's a Corki pick that mid. Yeah, I really don't know about that one because Corki should be giving you a chance to chunk him. Unless the only idea is you can use like the Weaver's Wall to match the package.
I do not tolerate cowardice.
Yeah, it's Talia into Corki, not Talia into Syndra.
Yeah. I realized I was
Okay.
like I'm dumb here because we were literally talking about the Corki mid and we know, but then I'm just thinking like I see Syndra, I see Talia. My mid lane instincts are like, I don't agree with that. But I don't agree with the Talia pick into either of them, honestly. I don't think...
The Syndra... I do like that Syndra bottom lane against Zyra specifically. You can pick up the plants and throw them, which is nice. It's an interaction that you can take advantage of every once in a while. I never like that, that makes it the hard counter, like the same way that Syndra's a hard counter into Heimerdinger. The turrets don't matter that much. You can pick up one and throw it, but then your W's on cooldown, right? So
Plus, like the turret's still available, and it can still get like the empowered shot off.
Yeah. So I don't know that that's like it's definitely an interaction. It's one that people can use, but I don't. It's not like, oh man, that makes it the hard counter.
Yeah, no, it's not like the old like MF support versus Zyra, like where there was a legitimate counter because you could just like boop with like one auto attack and there was her plan.
Yeah. Because of the way the like love tap
worked at the time. Well, actually, I mean, it still works the same way. I think they changed Zyra's plants.
I do just realize that the Lucian was a ban against X-Craze. It's actually kind of worthwhile because that meant that you limited the 80 carries that could be played in mid lane. If you were worried about that specifically. But yeah, I don't know. Talia into Corki. How do you feel about Talia into Corki? That was your last pick. You put all your chips into that.
This is, I mean, you got scaling mid versus a more early mid game focused mid. Once I realized, or I was being dumb and switched over to talking about Corki mid. Like Corki just shouldn't be giving the Talia an opportunity to get thrown. Like he'll just be operating at range, just farming, and like he's gonna outscale drastically. So
I guess then let's talk about Talia Rek'Sai versus Corki Kayn, because it's something that we're going to have to see Kayn wander in. I think he wants to go Rost, right? That's kind of the assumption with this team comp. He could get away with.
He could
get away with Shadow Assassin.
Shadow does do a decent amount of magic damage as well, though, so you have to be like slightly cautious there. But your opponents are squishy enough. You could definitely get away with Shadow Assassin if you wanted to.
But I'm going to assume it's Rost, right?
Yeah.
Then you need to pick fights with Rek'Sai, who's actually kind of dangerous to fight, early on, or Set, who is also dangerous to fight early on.
Yeah.
So I think you really need to see the Corki or Shen have kind of an early shove or impact, so that Kayn can get some of those orbs secured and get his transformation before 23 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, if you're the Kayn, you can just keep continuously force bottom, and then just wait out the 4 minutes if you think that'll get you the transformation faster, so you're not pulling the Spica. But
yeah, and this wouldn't be a terrible Shadow Assassin game. There's 3 really squishy targets. There's a 4th, probably marginally squishy target in the Rek'Sai. Even Set isn't like a terrible target for a Shadow Assassin.
Especially if he does like the Blade of the Ruined King build, that certainly delays his like health tankiness outside of like the brief uptime of his shield.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm talking myself into Shadow Assassin this game. But we'll see where they want to go. It is kind of it feels like a lot of early priority in lanes for Glacial Rising, and a very much like earlier focused team comp. So I think we need to see like 2 of the 3 lanes really get ahead for them.
I mean, they basically did like a complete 180 from their draft last game, and I don't mind it since like they had one of their scalers get ahead early. It just was their bottom lane, their super scaling lane, like fell really far behind there early. We'll be curious to see if anything changes here again. This time Glacial doesn't have quite the go button. He is more of a defensive peel option, and I'm pretty sure Braum and Desira is one of the worst things possible as a Braum player.
Yeah, and the Syndra doesn't like synergize super well with the Braum. I guess that's maybe also why they took the Lucian off the table, so that you didn't get Lucian Brahmed in bottom lane.
Fair enough. I guess I don't care who plays basically every marksman at some point or another. Just I don't know. Still, I feel like that would be more targeted at a mid lane ban than the AD carry.
Yeah, I agree. I just was. It seems
there's
like the
always that-
outlier. Everything else
yeah.
makes a lot of sense to me. The Lucian kind of feels like an outlier, so I'm trying to justify it. It's pretty cool champ select music, by the way. I'm digging this. It's from All Stars 2018, apparently. I don't know that I ever watched All Stars 2018, but I appreciate their champ select music in retrospect. You're missing Friday Night League now. How will you live without knowing the outcome of CLG versus Golden Guardians?
I mean, I want to see how Demonte is performing.
You're not supposed to send the viewers there. Come on, this is more
I
exciting.
mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It just is. Myself, I am curious about. I want to see him do well. I don't like that he didn't have a starting spot compared to like Golden Glue. Nothing against GG, but like that bugged me last year.
See, it's not Golden Glue that I have the issue with.
I mean, it's the organization that gave Golden Glue the
No,
spot.
it's not Golden Guard. It's Ryoma and Aka.
Oh, well, I mean, that Aka actually kind of started having a better season after he got some experience.
Don't think that the stats support that. Anyway, we're into game 2. Return of the Middle Sticks versus Glacial Rising Eagles. Game 2. Return of the Middle Sticks looking to close out the series and send us home early. Again, make sure you fast forward if you need to. All right,
Definitely.
already off to a better start for Scuba Tree. He bought some items. So very quickly, on the bottom side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars will be Return of the Middle Sticks, and on the top side of the rift, wearing the red health bars will be Glacial Rising Eagles. I always want to default to esports, but it's Eagles is the E.
Yeah, I feel like if they didn't have the E, then 100% would be defaulting.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
All right, so 5 points. There's nothing cheeky this game. No weird counter invade strategy happening. And actually, Duddy Brains is going to find Black Salt at level 1. Not going to see anything. Just gets that that word, but that's very clearly pinged. And now Aikedo has some vision to play with. We see he went for the Conqueror, which usually indicates Rost, right?
Definitely.
Minions have spawned.
I do like that Scuba Tree did go Dark Harvest on the mid Talia. A lot of mid lane Talias will take the Electrocute. I just feel like Dark Harvest is more valuable on her. Maybe that's just because I play her in such a snowbally way, and that's what that Keystone's set for.
So you would take the Dark Harvest if you're looking to snowball and the Electrocute for like more sustained, like
More consistent
Generalist, yeah.
opportunities, but with Talia and like how much burst the champion provides, I don't find as much value in it because you can basically, if you land your combo, you're getting a Dark Harvest proc, and if you can do that every 40 seconds, even if you're not getting a kill, you're getting another stack, and within a little bit, you'll easily be doing more damage than what Electrocute could ever provide you.
I'm kind of curious, the lethal tempo on X-Craze, is that
I've
normal now?
been seeing some pros do that. Fleet still seems to be like the more common one, but there have been some that have been opting into lethal tempo. I'm not so sure about that, especially if. Well, just think, it depends what build he's going. If he does like the Mirror Mana into Triforce into Death's Dance, I don't feel like the lethal's not as effective. But if you opt into like a Rapid Fire third, you'll definitely notice it more maybe.
Yeah, so right now, a lot of shoving lanes for Glacial Rising. We're not seeing that super early jungle path, although I guess Duddy Brains is just a little slower clearing than he was on the Jarvan, so we could still see that level 3 gank on bottom side if you wanted to. But yeah, a lot of trading in top side, and this shove means that I don't think you're going to see Duddy Brains really get a chance to do anything. He's headed for the enemy Raptors, but those have already been cleared. It's a Kayn. I don't... Oh, he's headed for mid. Okay, so the on the way the ping was for mid. He tunnels in mid. The Valkyrie from X-Craze is going to get bitten and forced to flash off of the seismic shove, so gets a little bit of the pressure. They actually burned both flashes to do that, though. Both Talia and Rek'Sai did. There's a flash in top lane for Vibon as he has to get away from the Haymaker from Faulted. So both solo lanes without flashes for Return of the Middle Sticks, and the mid laner and jungler for Glacial Rising.
I don't know if I'd call it I mean, I guess you got the flash mid. You have to repeat it as the Rek'Sai to make that worth, because now you just felt like, well, it's a Kayn, so you're like 2 camps behind because of how fast he clears.
Vi needs to be pretty careful. You can't get in range to be face breakered in by Faulted, or you just die right now. And so he'll have to be really careful navigating how he wants to get some of this CS. Wolfie is just being a rude person walking up in lane. They'll finally engage on him just a little bit, but that trade's going pretty well for Glacial Rising, all things considered. They do get the heal out of Wolfie X, though. X-Craze gets a Dark Harvested, gets shoved back in, doesn't have the flash. It's first blood for Scuba Tree solo in the mid lane for Glacial Rising.
No flash to get away. Like, you don't have boots to try to sidestep the seismic shove. Nice patience there by Scuba Tree, just kind of holding onto the W, waiting to see like the move pattern there from X-Craze.
Yeah, Vi's still trying to trade into Faulted. He's keeping relatively topped off, but Faulted has that regen passive, so any of these trades really favor this set. I like this matchup better than I like the Gangplank one for Faulted. And yeah, there's another demonstration as he hits the Haymaker onto Vibon. So yeah, we saw these points of power in top and mid for Glacial Rising. In this game, they have not scaling tools, but they have early mid-game tools. And so far, at least, they're making a little bit of an impact. They have the first blood in mid lane. They have a pretty decent CS advantage in top. Now it's just up to them to really try to capitalize on this. Faulted might be taking this a little too far. He gets taunted. Although Vibon's in this minion wave. One more auto, not going to do it. Duddy Brains is here on bottom side. He's going to smite and take down Karasuda. Black Salt in trouble as well, but he'll get away. But now Duddy Brains has made his mark felt on this bottom side of the map. Aikato's scooting a boot up to top side. Can he actually find the set? Not going to get there in time as he's able to recall.
So definitely can call that one a successful gank. And we're gonna get a dragon, probably? I don't know if Aikata was spotted trying to find the set.
Yeah, I think you just don't care, right? There's no... You know that Black Salt's not on the map. He had to recall. Karasuda had to burn teleport, and so did X-Craze to come back. But even if Kayn comes in, he's a level 5 Kayn. He hasn't gotten any orbs yet. Like, there's just not that big threat. I think you're fine with him coming in and trying to do whatever. The thing that Aikato does have is a pretty big CS lead. That's 4 camps.
Yeah, it's only 100 gold difference between the two because of the successful gank bottom there for the Rek'Sai. If that wasn't ever successful though, then absolutely would be in trouble.
Ooh, Faulted hits that big Haymaker. Vibon gonna have to recall. Doesn't have that teleport to come back now. And Faulted hit level 6. This could just be a kill. Okay. Vi.
I think he can step up.
Yeah, he can't step up here. There's no way. Yeah, Faulted. Does he have W up? Gonna use the ultimate? Uses the Haymaker? Oh, he doesn't hit the... Oh, no! It's gone all wrong for Faulted.
It feels so bad because you're just winning trade after trade there. You're just abusing set as a champion and then just can't land the Haymaker.
Yeah, the heal from the grass proc plus just sidestepping the Haymaker damage was enough that Faulted couldn't do it. He also committed the showstopper I think, is the ultimate. Just the wrong angle, right? He took him back toward the turret, whereas if you take him straight back, you're out of turret range and you don't have to worry about it. So just like 3 little tiny misplays in that little trade, and now Vibon has a foothold in the game.
He did get his recall. Okay. I was like, did Vibon get the recall? But he did.
Yeah, he recalled immediately after. He just let that wave die to turret, and now he's starting to shove. But now he's got the ninja tabby, so he's free to take some of these trades. Faulted should probably use that. Oh no. Well, the rest of the team's coming up. He's just trying to bait in Vibon. The taunt comes back through Scuba Tree. He'll get knocked back in by the seismic shove. Duddy Brains is here. The flash over. He gets smited though. Gets knocked up. Vibon is gonna fall as Duddy Brains takes him down. He's now 2-0 on the Rek'Sai.
Definitely not the cleanest play, but an excellent roam either way.
Oh, Ikedo. Oh. He didn't get spotted. I guess that's fine. Black Salt now looking for it. The flash away from Mini Burner. They'll jump forward. Syndra, oh, almost chunks through Wolfie X. The heal was just enough to keep him alive. Now Black Salt still looking for more. Has the Shen ult onto him. Quirky package comes in. Mini Burner able to take down Karasuda. They'll dive forward. They'll take down Wolfie X. And now Mini Burner gets slowed by the winner's bite. He'll get taken down by X Craze. So it's a 2-for-1. They do trade Karasuda, but they're finally on the board on the bottom side of the map. I guess that wasn't the first kill because of the one Vibon got. But Vi's 2-1 now on the Shen, and X Craze on the board.
Meanwhile, Rift Herald is picked up by Glacial, and it looks like they're dropping it instantly top.
Yeah, they know that Vibon can't get up there because of the teleport and the ultimate
That's
down.
Tower gun.
Yeah, that's tower. That's...
Nicely done.
Yeah, nicely done by them. About a 600 gold lead in that top lane now for Faulted, despite the 2 kills on Vibon. So still in an okay position. Vi will be able to take down Shelly, get that extra 25 gold in his pocket. But he's got the Bramble Vest now, and that makes it really difficult to trade into him as set. I do want to see Ikedo now has the ultimate available. He really needs to get some of these transformations. And he'll find some onto Wolfie X, and actually should find a kill. Yeah, Karasuda. I actually don't know what he was doing there.
I don't know either. There's not even like deep vision. Like the only thing that was warded was the tribe bush that he died in.
He had another ward available. I guess he was looking to get that, but he didn't do the minimum and sweep out the river bush. Like they knew he was in there. Because he either had to walk through lane or walk past that ward. That's a head scratcher. But it's 4-4. It's about 1,000 gold lead for Glacial Rising. They've done a good job with their early game comp, getting a small advantage. I don't have jungle timers up. 35 seconds on this Drake, so yeah, now with Wolfie X respawning, doesn't have the Zyra ultimate available, which could be very important in this upcoming fight. Pretty much everything available. Vibon won't be able to join, but Faulted will. Faulted's down 2 level. How is he down 2 levels? Okay, it's 1 now, but that just feels like the waves have been mismanaged. Anyway, Weaver's Wall comes in. Vibon taunts back through. They're really trying to focus down this Shen. He's running away from Duddy Brains. The Prey Seeker connects with him, but that's going to open up the Dragon potentially for Return of the Middle Sticks. And not even potentially. There's nobody on this side of the map to really contest it. So they get the kill on top side for Vibon in exchange for the Dragon.
I don't know if I would call that one worth. I mean, obviously this one will matter a little bit more if we fast forward like 15-20 minutes if we make it that far.
Oh, X-Craze is just fearless. Oh, he dives through a couple of the rocks, though. That's unfortunate, and he's going to actually just tank the stones from Scuba Tree and go down. Now Black Salt engaging on the bottom side. A teleport coming in from Faulted. They're going to burn down Mini Burner. Flash forward, he's going to get onto Wolfie X. They got 2. Can they get away from Faulted, though? One more auto's going to stun him up, but he has the ultimate to try to buffer through. Now Talia and Rek'Sai are here. It's going to be the teleport from Vibon, but a little bit late. Ikedo falls as Duddy Brains is on a rampage, but Vi hits a big taunt onto Scuba Tree. Burning down. Do they actually have the damage? There's one more auto from Vibon. Duddy Brains comes back in, gets a knockup, but he's forced to run away. He doesn't have the tunnel available, hits the blast cone. Oh no! That was Vibon that hit the blast cone, and he's forced to flash back over the wall. Now Faulted uses the Haymaker to try to buy some time. X-Craze just can't hit the rockets. The Smite, the Shen ult saves him for the time being. The Rek'Sai ult just buying time, but Vibon picks up another kill.
I missed where it was, but X-Craze, after dying, teleports back into the fight.
Now Wolfie X snares up Black Salt. Doesn't have anything available. That bullet time just teases the back of X-Craze, but he's able to get out of there.
I lost count of bodies.
Yeah, I
A
don't.
lot of people died there.
It was
A lot of-
4-4, and now it's 8-7. So that's 4 for 3 for Return to the Middle Sticks. I think. That might be wrong. I just remember it was 4-4 not too long ago.
We'll call it fine. In the, I want to talk kind of about like the solo kill mid there, where X-Craze kind of dying to the Talia there. Like, that's just kind of a general matchup thing, like understanding where a large majority of her damage is in this. It's in the rope. Exhaust blown.
Yeah, it burns the exhaust. I mean, kind of for the teleport, but you know, doesn't have to invest the ultimate. Doesn't even have it available. Just goes in and kind of shows Mini Burner who's boss in this bottom side.
But anyway, in that mid matchup, all he had to do there was instead of like Valkyring through, just
Oh, X-Rays has package. He's trying to cut this off. Yeah, these are 2 kills. It's just a matter of who gets them now. Mini Burner going to fall to X-Craze. Ikado takes down Wolfie X on the top side. And Talia Rek'Sai just a little bit too late to the party. And we're starting to see some of that farm advantage really come through for Ikado as Duddy Brains is actually pretty far behind in terms of XP and damage. Vibon and Faulted just going to fight to the death, though, and not going to let us talk about some of the actual interesting things that are happening. That Haymaker was good, though. Able to connect, and he gets a solo kill in top lane, finally. Okay, so can we... Yeah, can we talk about this? All right. Ikado's up 2 levels, despite Duddy Brains being 4-1, because of the farm that he's been able to accrue. That is the most important difference, I think, right now in this game. The kills on Vibon compared to the farm on Faulted kind of evens out. The kills on Karasuda in exchange for the farm on Mini Burner kind of evens out. So I think the big difference right now is Ikado, and he's showing it. He solo kills the top laner. Duddy Brains is here, fancying his chances. No ultimate for Ikado, but he gets through the wall. Ooh, he gives up. All right. I mean, he had to. The Shen was there, but like...
That was really nice by Ikado there. He's just stalling long enough to be considered out of combat and get more than just like the 1 second inside of the wall. That was really good patience there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was also like who he wanted there. That was like hitting the set, finally getting Ross stacks. Oh.
Scuba Tree. X-Craze just is not scared of those rocks, and he really needs to be. They're chunking through him. Vibon goes in, gets the taunt. The ultimate from Duddy Brains is going to secure it. Mini Burner just a little bit excited there with the bullet time, but yeah, they're going to find the pick, and they're going to reset the Herald, unfortunately, but they should be able to get the Herald as a result. X-Craze just has not been respecting those seismic shards.
Yeah, they like I said earlier, like they do a good amount of damage. Each rock is like 110 damage right now. They do reduce damage if you go through more than one, but like still 110 damage and going down by 15%. That's still, you're just opting into taking like 300-400 free damage for nothing.
Yeah, another dragon spawning here in 10 seconds. Return to the Middle Sticks is nowhere to be able to answer this, and they're even going to secure it by dropping that Rift Herald mid. So somebody's got to answer that, and that opens up the Dragon Pit, which honestly pretty good macro so far from Glacial Rising. I have no complaints about this. It is kind of weird. Oh, Ikado gonna get the Shen ult onto him. Never mind, we're not gonna get anything. The double knockup into the Shen taunt. Ikado and Vibon just 2v4ing on the front side of this fight. They're not able to finish anybody off, though, as Wolfie X takes down Vibon. It's just a mess on the backside. Ikado's still alive. He's looking for the flank. The Talia is just doing so much damage. The trade back, Karasuda falls finally to Mini Burner. Ikado's the last one alive for Return to the Middle Sticks. More autos. He doesn't have the ult. He flashes forward for the Q. He gets the reset on the passive. He gets the Q back out and he'll escape. 4 for 4 on that fight.
Wow, we both thought like RotM had no business being there, and just like a 2-man balls deep initiation there from Ikado and Vibon. Like,
Call him Balls Deep 69. That's a reference for you and you
yes,
only.
yes.
All right.
No. Ocho's in the chat. Ocho's in the chat. He will absolutely get that.
Yeah, Aikato's gonna have a little bit of trouble doing this dragon. I think he's fine though. And it's kind of weird that he can do this. I think Zyra needs to stick around and not recall after that, and make sure that Aikato doesn't do that dragon. It's a really greedy path by Aikato to go back in and just do that, but it pays off for him, and that'll
They
be
also-
two dragons now for Return to the
They
Middle
had
Sticks.
vision of him going into the pit. I'm pretty sure. There's that wall right behind the pit.
Well, they had no one that could get there once Zyra recalled. The problem was that she recalled at like 3/4 health. Right? You have to just stick around and kind of guard the dragon so that your Rek'Sai can get back in there. If you value that dragon. Maybe they were talking about that. Maybe it's a conscious decision to give up the dragon, but
That's fair. Either way, it's only second dragon for either side. It's not worth throwing away too much more money for.
yeah. And given how bananas this game is, would you guess that it's a 200 gold lead for Return of the Middle Sticks? I might have guessed a small lead on the other side. I would have probably guessed about 1k for Glacial Rising given the early game that we saw in some of the farm leads, but Return of the Middle Sticks actually has just a very small gold advantage right now.
Alright, so I'm noticing here that the Talia has like a catalyst in her inventory. Definitely not a huge fan. Like, if you're going Rod of the Ages, you're not getting a Rod until, well, how much gold does she even have right now? 740. So you're talking at least a 22 minute Rod of Ages, like, purchase. So that means you're not online until 33 minutes. And if you're going Abyssal Mask,
You're trolling. Yeah.
You're trolling.
Well, the flash forward Duddy Brain's looking for the engage does knock out Black Salt, but it's a successful disengage from Return to the Middle Six. They have to burn both flashes, but excuse me. Aikato gets hit by the seismic shove, and nothing permanently doing. We're so used to such, intense action that all of this is just kind of light trading across the chasm. But look at the farm lead for Aikato. Like, Kayn isn't that big of a power farmer.
Oh, yes,
Like, compared to Rek'Sai, they both
Oh,
can
yeah.
farm fine. So having a 50 CS advantage feels, pretty significant.
Maybe I'm really biased here, because like I'm more of a Kayn player than a Rek'Sai player, but like I put Kayn in the same tier almost as like a Graves as far as like power farming.
I don't feel like I do that on Graves, but I'm also not really a jungler, so I'll take your word for it more than mine.
I just know that like I'll AFK out or like my brain just shuts off for a little bit, and then next thing I know I have like 40 CS more than my laners. I'm just kind of like, what? Or like think of Hulk on our squads. Like he's just always like just putting up the same farm numbers as us as laners. I think that's just part of the champion with how easy he clears.
Anyway, they're looking for a play on topside. Vaulted is a little bit low under tower. Tanked up by Aikato. He has the ultimate available to drop aggro if he needs to. Doesn't even need to use it, though. Aikato is unstoppable now. 6-1 on the Rost.
I can't tell if like Fulton just accepted his death and he didn't even pop his W ever.
No,
like,
no Haymaker. Didn't use the ult. Didn't use the flash. Just
accepted it.
accepted it, I guess. Yeah. Mini Burner's in trouble now. Aikato finds another mark in this jungle. Gets another flash and exhaust for his trouble, for that matter. What a monster right now on this game. I was worried he didn't get enough transformation stacks early. He got them all kind of at once, and then now he is the biggest boy on the Rift.
He's letting the Rising Eagles know that this is now his jungle.
Yeah, everybody that's walked in has gotten a knockup from Rost. He gets found out by Duddy Brains. He'll just hit the casual two-man Blades reach, leave over the wall.
He's got to be sitting on some money here. His items are basically the same as the Rek'Sai's.
Yeah, he's got 1,700 extra, so not like a full item, but
Aegis him like a longsword or
Aegis in the Caulfields. Yeah,
yeah,
headed for that Death Stance, because why not? Everybody should probably build Death Stance at this point.
I mean, and that was already like a natural item for Rost anyway. Now it's just like even better for him.
Alright, so Glacial Rising sets up for this dragon. 15 seconds left. They've set up some vision. Scuba Tree gonna find Black Salt and Karsuda here. Get a little bit of a chunk onto the Brown, but Aikedo is fearless. He's headed in. He knows he has the Shen to call on if he needs to. Teleport in from Faulted. That's actually just a regular teleport from Vibon. Black Salt's in trouble. He doesn't have that. Oh, that's actually X-Craze on the side. Excuse me. On the backside of the fight, Vibon is just tanking up 4 members. On the other side, though, Duddy Brains cannot tank 4 members for very long. Aikedo goes in. He gets a double kill. He's got a triple kill. They've cleaned up... Oh, no, they didn't clean him up. He's looking for more. He's hunting on the top side. He's over the wall. He's onto the Talia. Doesn't hit the Blade's Reach. Okay, we're not going to see the pet, though. We can stop hyping that up now. Karsuda hits the stun on Defaulted, getting a little bit of extra damage. The W available for Faulted, just not popping it yet. Hits the finally, but that Haymaker isn't going to do it. Aikedo's now legendary. The unofficial quadra kill for him. Vi and X-Craze is going to do the team thing and take care of the dragon. But 10-1 for Aikedo on the Kane.
I'll be completely honest. The X-Ray sat in base for a long time there as Corky, so I was expecting him to pick up package and teleport in on a flank ward, and he just didn't have the package, so he just kind of Valkyrie'd back over and helped peel with Karasuda.
Yeah, and Vibon was so key during that fight. I don't know how he joined the fight or where he came from, but he was in the back tanking 4 people that pretty much the entire start of that fight. He tanked the entire back line plus Faulted while they finished off Duddy Brains and then slowly turned their way back up into everybody else. But yeah, really well done, that space control by Vibon, and then Aikedo kind of the beneficiary. He saw his moment, flashed forward for that Q, and secured the unofficial quad.
Yeah, and like this RotM team comp really likes the drawn out fights. You've still got some sort of technical marksman damage from the Corky. You've got Ross, incredible sustain as a champion and really low cooldowns. Like you've got Syndra, who while she's a burst mage / assassin, she's also like pretty high DPS because of how often her spheres are available to her.
Yeah, I think they really do need to find a way to crack this mid turret, though. This is going to be a thorn in their side the longer this goes on. Maybe you even overcommit to the top side just to draw them up there because of that low tower. But they need to find a play to help crack this mid turret, or else this game's going to continue to stall out for a while.
Now that bullet time's down, I feel like you can just go for like a flank from both sides.
Oh, Duddy Brains is here on the flank. They're going to drop the package on top of him. Duddy Brains is just gone. They flip Aikedo back in, but that's right where he wants to be. The double kill, not a triple because Black Salt took it, and actually it's not going to matter anyway. They clean up 4 immediately. The flank from X-Craze and Aikedo finds him.
Top laner's not needed. Like Vibon had plenty of ways to join, just I mean, that was just a free for nothing.
There's no need for him. Like, he could have got some assists, some gold in his pocket, but, like,
no
nobody was in any real danger during that. That was just a huge stun. Yeah. The knockup from Black Salt was actually super critical during that. It helped stagger everybody. I just wanted to highlight, Braum plays aren't normally like, wow, that was great. Unless you're like Lord Care Bear tanking everything for Yenda.
10 years, yeah. I wanted to almost make that comment about us being like Vibon being super used to playing weak side because of that particular team as well, knowing that Yabby's gonna need everyone to try to keep him alive from himself.
Vi might be in a little bit of trouble here though. He's fighting Faulted and Duddy Brains, just trying to kite this out. Gets pulled back in by this set. Has the little shield available, but will finally get Haymaker down. But drew a little bit of pressure up to that top side. Unfortunately, the rest of the team had already backed after taking the Baron, so you know, whatever. Baron and 2 towers in exchange for him. Feels fine.
I was gonna say that mid tower did fall, and I totally wasn't paying attention and lost what took it. But map's opened up now, and like only 1 outer tower actually. I guess 2 outer towers still on the map.
Yeah, Black Salt actually doesn't have any backup right now, so I don't want to see him walk too much further forward. X-Craze doesn't have teleport, but he's up on the top side of the map. So a little bit spread out right now for Return to the Middle Sticks. They'll look to reconvene here in about minute 26 for this Ocean Soul. By the way, Ocean Soul on Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And Shen, for that matter, but yeah.
Even like Corky, because he can proc it so easily, plus he's going to Death Dance as well. Like, obviously not quite the same as a roster Shen, but he's still going to like Omega profit from it.
Yeah, and Karsuda chunking through Wolfie X as well. The bot lane kind of assembled here in mid with Vibon able to join. Aikedo's just going to solo split push down in bottom side, and really, who can answer him, so why not?
No one can. He's level 16, highest level in this game besides him. I guess the highest level of his opponents is level 14.
Yeah, X-Cray's the only one that matches him right now. But they're just collecting towers. That's 2 more off of the back of this dragon. I really like this. Just continue the pressure. You don't need to peel back for the dragon. Use up the rest of your Baron first. Dragon will always be there, right? You don't need to set up now. They're looking for a little bit more. Aikedo just Blades Reach, leaves. X-Craze has the teleport and a pause. Alright, I'm going to go ahead.
Built his baked beans all over the keyboard.
Oh, the classic.
I don't know if that's legit or not, because they were also said DC. It could be either or.
No, that's the classic Karasuda. Everybody spills their beans. I don't know why, but so anyways, sorry, we're in a pause right now. Okay, we're actually going to get back into game here shortly. I wanted to throw up the pause screen just in case we had some less than savory customers. So we're jumping back in. We'll transition back. But away we go. 28 minutes now. The siege continues for Return to the Middle Sticks. X-Craze has the teleport coming back in. He actually teleports to bottom lane. A little bit of desync, but we're fine. The dragon spawn now. And looks like Baron... I don't have a timer on the Baron buff. Do you have
It'll be 3... Oh, on the Baron buff?
Yeah. Oh, it falls off at 3, right? 3 more seconds, yeah. So they'll use up the rest of the Baron buff. Aikedo's just going to go ahead and solo that Ocean Soul Dragon. And there is no ability contest for Glacial Rising. So now the timer on this game looks like that 3-minute timer for Baron.
Yeah, if Glacial steps out of their base and gets picked, that's game right there. But, Baron...
went Rod of Ages second.
Yeah. That's like an incredibly big no-no.
And again, why we're saying this, we're at 29 minutes. Most games are already over at this point, like statistically speaking. If they're not, they're going to end very, very soon. And you're at 5 stacks on your Rod of Ages. There's still 5 more minutes before that item's powered up. Even then, you didn't get cooldown reduction. You didn't get a lot of raw power. I don't know. Especially like... with the Dark Harvest that you already have, your own build is kind of at odds with itself. I guess you're going for super scaling is what your idea is behind Dark Harvest, but...
You gotta be getting stacks to be scaling too, and you only got 10 of them.
Yeah.
So, no. I don't know.
Anyway,
like,
that's why we're harping on it, not because
there's also, like, just for Talia in general, like, there's a bunch of different build paths or options you have. Like, I personally prefer just going GLP over Ludens, even though I cut my own damage. I can ensure that I land a W, and like your options are force a flash or die.
Yeah, Aikedo's gonna get collapsed. Well, you know.
They tried to.
They tried to collapse on him. It didn't really work out. They lose the mid lane turret in exchange for that small play that they attempted to do. And he can just zip around the map and zip right back over there if he needs to. Yeah, Vibon's just pushing in the top side. This is very clinical 1-3-1 right now for Return to the Middle Sticks. And it turns into the 1-4, because why not? They run their way through the mid inhibitor. What can't you give up if you're Glacial Rising? Like, you have to fight over one of these inhibitors, right?
I feel like you pretty much have to, because if you give 2, then that's guaranteeing, like, Baron's gone.
Yeah, Faulted, that's actually a big facebreaker, hits 2. The bullet time just isn't doing any damage, actually gets flashed away by Karasuda. They're going to take down Duddy Brains on the backside of the fight. He was able to delay a little bit with his ultimate. Meanwhile, Aikedo on the front side jumps forward, hits 2. He's just tanking through the towers. Finally has the stopwatch available, but 2 have already fallen for Glacial Rising. Double kill now for Aikedo. Black Salt unfortunately tanked a couple too many tower shots there. X-Ray still looking for a little bit more. He hits Scuba Tree with the Phosphorus Bomb, but it's not going to really matter as Aikedo takes down the second inhibitor in top lane, and they'll start to take down the Nexus turrets. Scuba Tree and Wolfie X looking to try to defend. The Valkyrie in, that's the timing that you want from X-Craze before the rocks come down. Able to take down Talia and take down the Nexus in game number 2. It'll be another 2-0 for Return to the Middle Sticks. Not as clean as some of the other weeks that we've seen, but they get the job done.
They also made it more exciting to cast. I mean, it wasn't just one-sided for 25 minutes. It was close for a little bit, and then it just kind of like exploded. Like Kato was a monster that last fight with casual 4v1.
Yeah, he really set himself up for success. I was worried that he was falling a little bit behind the tempo early on in the game, but then he hit his orbs, he hit his transformation. He was go immediately after that, and he racked up all 14 kills in record time, basically.
You can see like 6,500 gold lead individual here at the end over the Rek'Sai. Like it's a big boy.
Yeah, so to give some context here,
Also, most damage actually going to the Corki there.
yeah, the Corki kind of the unsung hero of the game, but they'll take home the 2-0. Return of the Middle Sticks heads to 5-0 on the year now. Unfortunately, Glacial Rising falls to 1-4, and they'll look to try to turn it around and qualify for playoffs at the end. But yeah, another really good performance by Platinum, and we'll see next week if there's anybody left to challenge, really.
How many teams are in pot cap right now? 8.
Yeah, there's 8, so there's 2 more weeks. Left remaining on the schedule is MG Blaze and Divine Ascension Black. MG Blaze is 2-2 right now, and Divine Ascension Black is 0-4. So not the most difficult schedule, but could potentially be a team in there that can strike up. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the cast, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully for 2 games on Saturday, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and if you don't already follow the channel, please do, because we'd appreciate that.
Peace.
Bye.